These household deities guard the farmers' homes, keeping any unpleasant beings at bay while watching over the daily chores involved in running the household. A guardstompt is a being that tends to the farmer's land and tools, watching over the daily activities on the farm to make sure that nothing bad befalls it or its inhabitants. It is believed that circles of mushrooms spring up when elves appear to join one another in dance. If an unlucky man or woman should join them in their dance, they would find that time passes faster within the elf circle, and years may go by while they are engrossed in a few moments of joyful dance. Some even believe that these rings hold the power to transport the elf people across vast distances. A large stone could often be found at the center of elf circles. How they got there, no one seemed to know. In some of the stones there were holes, said to be surrounded by strange symbols. These holes could be used to summon and gain boons from Alvor by presenting them with a gift. On the other hand, if the offering was not to their liking, the boon would instead turn into misfortune. Alvor are small, mesmerizing beings appearing in misty meadows at dusk and dawn to join one another in dance. If noticing their presence, often marked by peculiarly tall grass and large plots of mushrooms, the traveler should take care while approaching them, as the Alvor have the power to cause both boon and misfortune to befall their visitor. More beautiful than all other Alvor, with glistening hair and a shining crown on her head, the Elf Queen may appear amongst her kin on these darkest of nights, her wondrous image leading them and any spellbound passers-by in dance. Nakan is a being that is said to dwell within the deepest lakes and rivers of the land. Lone travelers have been known to hear his ominous song as they take a moment to rest at the water's edge. If they find themselves listening to his enchanting melody for too long, a strange urge to join him in the dark water instills itself in the unlucky traveler. The Natrum is always moving from place to place, searching for something not visible to normalize, unable to rest until it has found what it is looking for. Taking the shape of a raven, it can only be seen during these darkest of nights, spreading its black wings across the sky. Broonscuba are guardian deities who reside in deep wells, making sure that the water is clean and drinkable. They also keep an eye out for curious children, chasing them away to prevent them falling down into the wells. A Broonscuba is usually not a particularly evil creature, but if its well gets polluted, the Broonscuba's anger knows no boundaries. The hag prefers to build her nest on top of tall mountains, spreading her vile magic throughout the surrounding areas, infecting plant and creature alike. If you happen to come upon one of her minions, be wary not to get caught, as they will surely bring you before her. Vata are nervous beings that hide from others by blending in with their environment. They prefer to make their home below the ground, far away from other creatures. A Svartalv is not entirely unlike a dwarf, although more sinister in appearance, with crooked backs and skin as grey as ash. They live deep within the mountains, gathering precious metal and gems. A Svartalv is driven by greed and attracted to anything that shines, although the purpose for their obsession is unknown. Deep within the mountain, far away from any light of day, the Gruffru lives by herself. Miners have been known to catch a glimpse of her in the corner of their eye, some claiming that she is showing them the location of large ore veins, others that she is trying to get them to follow her into the tunnels. If one is to venture into her domain, be mindful of making noise. If disturbed, she is said to bring the perpetrator to the deepest place within the mountain, where the unlucky being slowly turns into stone. Loathed and feared by many unnatural beings, pure silver is often used in attempts to ward off evil, keeping mischievous creatures at bay as the nights grow long. Burgrasaur are dangerous, enormous beings, long since forgotten by most folk. Long ago, they sought shelter deep within the mountains, remaining in an endless sleep to shut out the sounds of man. The Vitorm slithers through the darkest areas of the land, drawn to places of power where it rests to shed its skin. The skin of a Vitorm is rumored to retain a strange kind of magical power, and anyone that manages to get their hands on one should be careful not to look into its entrancing glow for too long. Bisons are beings that usually remain in deep slumber. In the rare event that they awake, they spend their time tormenting travelers and woodsmen passing them by. Once they grow tired of causing trouble, they resume their sleep, blending in with the surrounding trees once again. A Lichtgruber is a being that can be seen after nightfall. Dwelling in swamps and marshes, they drift through the air, often with a lit lantern in hand, following the wind currents between the trees. Their alluring light is said to mislead travelers off the road and deeper into the marshes, far away from any who would hear their cries for help. Throughout the land, you might sometimes hear rumors of injured woodsmen sheltering themselves beneath an unusually large tree with strange characteristics. As they rest amongst its roots, they claim that the wounds fade away as if they had never been caused. Learning that one may be cured from any ailment by crawling through the tree's roots, many travel from afar to seek relief, but the woodsmen who claim to have found it never seem to recall its exact location within the woods. A Draug was once a man who, after passing from this world, turned into a being consumed by its hunger for all that it once had. Approaching its perceived property carries with it great risks, as stories tell of Drauga whose grotesque appearance leaves the victim's mind in disarray, causing them to wander the woods aimlessly as they slowly transform into Drauga themselves. Glosen, vile and repugnant, is a large sow that dwells in the depths of the forest, her battened body covered in razor-sharp thorns. She may appear either as an omen in places about to be visited by great misfortune, or to prey on travelers walking along the forest's edge. As she runs towards her victim, the thorns on her back are said to grow larger, cutting the unlucky traveler in half as she sprints in between their legs. After she has satisfied her gluttonous urges, she returns to guard her home in the darkest part of the woods. Over the centuries, many have claimed to have seen the Copper Gate, although its shape seems to vary from one tale to the next, and when being asked to show others its location, none seem to recall the path they only recently trod. Trolls are hideous beings, frequently described as doers of evil and wicked deeds. Terrified only by the sun's rays and the clap of thunder, they seldom leave the darkness of their caves, but once in a while emerging to roam the night in small packs, traveling between villages, snatching newborns out of their cribs before replacing them with their own offspring. Although socially organized, their minds are often blunt, some telling stories of quick-witted travelers narrowly escaping their grasp. Rumored to be the ruler of all his kin, Bergerkungen is the oldest troll known to man. He was birthed long ago, deep beneath the cold earth, in halls of ice, in a realm of eternal night. Stories of him have sprung up in generations far parted by time, leaving many convinced as to him possessing the gift of unending life. The few times he has been forced to appear above ground, his sightings have always been preceded by powerful omens, followed by strange mystical effects on the land. Formed as lightning strikes the earth, an askstone is said to be infused with the power of its creator, rumored to have been used in ancient times to ward off the sky's thunder, as well as beckoning its rumbling.